A very good morning to everyone. Good morning, Ndata Chauke. Good morning, Advocate Mayema.
Good morning, Chairperson.
Advocate Gwaitobi.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
But before you proceed, perhaps I should find out from the evidence leaders whether there's anything that he would like to place on record.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, save to record, there's nothing. Save to...
Please speak to the mic and speaker.
I think there's nothing from our side, save to confirm what was stated to the panel in chambers, that Advocate Kosana is no longer part of the team. Other than that, there's nothing further from our side.
Thank you, Counsel. You do confirm that Mr. Simelemecha is an instructing attorney. You may just push the mic to Dr. Simelemecha.
I confirm, Chair.
Thank you, sir. Advocate Gwaitobi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This morning, Mr. Chauke will open his case. His first witness will be Advocate Gladstone Silo Mayema. In total, there are 10 witnesses that we have spoken to. They cover both the Kato Mano-related allegations and the General Mdluli-related allegations. One of the witnesses that we have spoken to out of the 10 has conveyed to us safety concerns, which are perfectly understandable in the light of the nature of the issues covered in this case. Madam Chair, in due course, we will be approaching you to have the witness testify online or for arrangements to be made for his security, whichever is more convenient. In relation to the balance of the witnesses, we have some draft statements that we are working to finalization. For Mr. Mayema, who's testifying this morning, we have a full statement that has been signed. It is a lengthy statement and it covers approximately 140 pages. It is supported by annexures that exceed 900 pages. So it is quite a voluminous document. We are working on preparing an index to the annexures in order to make the referencing easy. It is being finalized by Mr. Ramokhale, but it is not yet ready. We will hand it up during the course of the tea adjournment. The annexures are marked with the GSM red, bold numbers. There are a couple of annexures that were not included in the documents that were discovered by the NPA, but we received them directly from the witness. But those will be clear during the course of his testimony. One more thing I should record is that the NPA has still not disclosed the docket in relation to the murder of Superintendent Kongo and the accompanying injuries to Inspector Kanyile. As you will see during the course of the evidence by this witness, the murder of Superintendent Kongo did become, I'm not saying very important, but it did become a point of reference, and that's why we've been asking for it. We received correspondence from Mr. Anton du Plessis, who is the former Deputy National Director of Public Prosecutions, who suggested that the NPA does not have the docket. But we do not accept that because in the NPA's own documents, they refer to the contents of that docket. Nevertheless, we've addressed correspondence to the DPCI requesting access to that docket, but we have not yet received it. I record that because it might play a role in the course of the hearing, but it is not an obstacle this morning to the commencement of Mr. Mayema's testimony. Having made those preliminary remarks, I will leave the witness to you, Madam Chair, for the swearing in so we can begin. Thank you.
On what basis is the DPCI involved in that matter?
It is because Mr. Anton du Plessis claims that the docket is with the DPCI.
Let me find out from Advocate Halley, who is representing the NPA, whether he has any view with regard to that. I know that you cannot hear me. You can hear me. I'm not totally out of the woods, but if you cannot hear me, do raise your hand. Advocate Halley, I know that you have not done your decoupling application as yet, but just for interest's sake, are you in a position to assist in this regard?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was aware that the message was sent. I wasn't aware that the representatives of Advocate Chauke remained concerned. If there remains a concern, I can discuss the matter with my learned friends, and we can take it up with the powers that be within the NPA. But that was the message that was conveyed, and it's a matter of either going to go and seek it from the DPCI, and I'm not in a position to give an undertaking that we will do so. But I think that if there was a concern that the response was insufficient, I'm not sure if it was persisted in beyond that.
Thank you, Advocate Halley. Advocate Batohi, see if you can discuss the matter with the NPA through Advocate Halley, and if you do not find any joy, then do proceed with writing to the DPCI and see if you can find such information.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I shall do so.
Anything from the evidence leading team?
Nothing from our side, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Advocate Maema, good morning once again.
Good morning, Chairperson, and good morning, co-chairpersons. Earlier on, when I said good morning, Chair, I thought the co-chairpersons will also greet me. But now that I have this opportunity, can I also greet the co-chairs? Chairperson, thank you.
Yes, I speak on their behalf.
Yes.
At least as far as greetings are concerned. Let me just make a disclosure. I mentioned to counsel in chambers that me and you are well known to each other, and Dr. Maema.
Yes, Chairperson.
As we all live together as practitioners, as judicial officer, you appearing before me in the Northwest, in Mabatu.
Indeed, Chairperson.
And I thought that it is appropriate that I make this disclosure right at the beginning. I mentioned to counsel in chambers, and no one is opposed to me presiding and hearing your evidence this morning.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson. I must also mention, Chairperson, as you do so, that Advocate Mhlamunyan is also known to me. When I did pupillage the last year, he was one of my co-lecturers in legal writing. So you're not the only person that is known to me. He is also known to me. Advocate Chauke, of course, is my colleague. I would know him.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, I thought that from the angle of the panel,
Yes.
it is proper to make such a disclosure. Advocate Mutlamanyane did mention in chambers that he knows you to the extent you have mentioned, and we all understand that. He is excused from being here this morning. He is busy doing some work in the evidence leading team's chamber, but he is in the building.
Thank you, Chairperson.
That said, Advocate Batohi, I think it's appropriate for me, Advocate Chauke, to verify whether you will take the oath, administer the oath, and or do the affirmation.
Chairperson, I will take the oath, and Chairperson, I indicate that I prefer to stand when I take the oath.
Yes, you may do so. You may stand up. Thank you, sir. Advocate Maema, do you swear that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, nothing else but the truth? And if so, raise up your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Advocate Batohi.
Thank you, Chair. Advocate Maema, in front of you, you have your statement, which is page 121. Is that correct?
That is so, Counsel.
Yes. Now, it starts at paragraph 1, just describing your positions that you held in the NPA. Can you, using your own words, describe that?
In my answer, I'll be addressing the Chairperson, so I will say Chairperson.
Indeed.
Yes. Chairperson, I am an advocate who was formerly in the employment of the National Prosecuting Authority in the capacity of a Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions. I was attached to the Office of the Director of Prosecutions in the Northwest Division, which is based in Mabato. The office is situated at Mega City Complex, East Gallery, 3139 Sekame Road in Mahikeng.
I beg your pardon. May we all put our cell phones in silence? Thank you. Advocate, you may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The statement that we have in front of you does contain your signature at the end, at page 1 to 139, dated the 11th of February 2026. Do you confirm that?
I confirm that, Chairperson.
But it is not sworn. Is that correct?
That is correct, Chairperson.
Can you swear that the contents of those statements are true and correct and they're binding on you and your conscience?
Chairperson, I have read the statement. I do confirm that I know and understand the implication of the oath, and I confirm that I do take that oath.
Yes, but I need you to swear that the contents of the statements are true and correct and they're binding on you and your conscience.
I do, Counsel. I confirm the contents are true and correct, and they are binding on my conscience, Counsel. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, I want to then skip those next passages up until paragraph 6. The statement is supported by some 900 pages odd annexures. I just wanted to confirm if you were involved in the collation of those annexures, you've read the annexures, you understand the annexures.
Indeed, Chairperson, I have.
Yes. Thank you very much. Can we then go to the statement proper? It starts from paragraph 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, let's stop there for now, tracing your history. So just feel free and take us slow. Tell us about yourself, not from primary school, at least from matric. Yeah.
Chairperson, I matriculated in Tulare High School in 1981. Tulare High School is in Lebotlwane. Lebotlwane is in the Moretele district of the Northwest Province. And then I continued to study a BProc and an LLB degree at the University of Fort Hare in 1989 and 1991, respectively. I continued to serve articles of clerkship at the firm of attorneys which was doing predominantly criminal work. It's called Botha du Plessis and Kruger Attorneys, which is still in Johannesburg. I commenced my articles in November 1991. That is immediately after...
Is that the famous BDK attorneys?
The famous BDK, yes.
If I may advocate Toby, I know that most of us are commissioning officers by virtue of the law. But you may consider later, just for completion, so that when the record is sent to the President at the end of this inquiry, he should be having a complete picture. You can have the statement commissioned before a commission of oaths.
Thank you,
I know
Madam Chair.
that he has now testified that the contents of this are correct, and he aligns himself with everything that is in this statement. But I suggest that you can later then cause the commissioning to be done and then file it of record.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, we will discuss it with our learned friends if they have an objection to a commissioning after signing, because sometimes these commissioners will insist that the commissioning and the signing happen simultaneously.
Yes. Maybe we should just verify with you, evidence leaders.
No, Madam Chair will not have an objection.
Yes, ordinarily one could even do it right away, but I prefer that it is done by someone else. Later in the day, you can do that.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I suppose, Advocate Halley, you have no objection?
There can't be.
There can't be any objection. Yes, let's do the right thing so that we give the President the record that is fully complete.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are still at paragraph 8, Advocate Mayema, where you say that you did, after your LLB at Fort Hare in 1991, you did articles of clerkship at BDK attorneys.
That is correct, Chairperson.
Yes, carry on.
Then, as I was indicated, BDK is a firm that is doing predominant. My apologies. I will leave it on, Chairperson. BDK is a firm of attorneys that does predominantly criminal work. Towards the latter part of my articles, as I was working closely with prosecutors in various courts, I developed an interest to become one. And I applied, and I was appointed a prosecutor. I started in Fort Beaufort in the Eastern Cape on the 8th of March 1993. Fort Beaufort, Chairperson, is a small town in the Eastern Cape, fairly rural. It's a farming farming town.
Yes, you don't have to convince me.
Yes.
What do they refer to it as Bofolo?
A Bofo.
Bofol. Yes.
They call it, they say emakizeni.
Well, that part, I'm not sure, but the people from Fort Beaufort will be very upset. There's a mental hospital there. That's how it ended up being as a magazine.
Yes, yes. In fact, communities get a service at that hospital, which is very important.
Yes, and then you, from March 1993, you are prosecuting at Fort Beaufort. You then gain experience in Port Elizabeth, Grahamstown, and King Williamstown. Is that correct?
That is correct. What happens in the Eastern Cape is they pick their prosecutors that they identify, and then they expose you to various work in various districts. So I started although being a district court prosecutor when I started in Fort Beaufort, when the regional court would come and sit there, and a prosecutor from Grahamstown would not be available, I would then deal with their regional courts. That's how then it started. That I do the regional court in King Williamstown, in Grahamstown, as well as in Port Elizabeth.
And then at paragraph 9, you then get admitted as an advocate. Can you just explain that? Because you've already been working for 2 years by this stage.
As I was working in Grahamstown, I then received a call from one of the deputies in the Johannesburg office, who saw that I am from Johannesburg, but I'm working in Grahamstown. And then I indicated an interest to come back to Johannesburg. On the 3rd of May, I applied for my admission as an advocate in the High Court. I was then admitted in the then Witwatersrand Local Division, which is now South Gauteng. And then early in May, I think the 5th of May, I joined the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions in Johannesburg as a state advocate. I worked as a state advocate, as a senior state advocate, in the DPP office in Johannesburg until the establishment of the National Prosecuting Authority in 1998. When it was established, the first national director, Mr. Bulelani Nguka, established what we called the Human Rights Investigative Unit. This unit was intended to look at the cases that came from the TRC. It is the predecessor of what later then came to be called the Priority Crimes Litigation Unit at the NPA head office.
So just before you proceed, I mean, I'm not sure if the statement contains an error or you made an error, because it refers to Grahamstown there as a state advocate, but you are saying you were actually in Johannesburg.
I started as a state advocate in the DPP office in Grahamstown.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with the statement.
There's nothing wrong in the statement.
Okay.
And that is why I think what happened was a deputy in the DPP Joburg spoke to a deputy in Grahamstown and said, "But this name is known to me."
I see.
And then that's when Kevin Edwell then phoned Les Roberts, the two deputies, and then Kevin then said, "Will you be interested to come to Joburg?" I said, "Of course I will."
Were you in Grahamstown for a short period?
I was in Grahamstown for a very short
I see. Okay. Yes. No, so that's why actually substantively you worked in Johannesburg.
Substantively in
you
Johannesburg.
fired through Grahamstown.
Indeed, Chairperson.
No, I understand. Okay. And then you did work at the PCLU, which is the TRC Cases Unit.
Yes.
Okay. And how long was that?
It was for about less than a year when, you see, with the introduction of the NPA Act in 1998, the NPA in terms of the constitution became a single prosecuting authority. And posts were then advertised for deputies. I applied and I was appointed a deputy director of prosecutions in the Northwest. And then on the 1st of May 1999, I assumed my responsibility as a deputy director of prosecutions in the Northwest.
So you are at the national office for 1995 to 1998. No, sorry. You are at the DPP's office in Johannesburg up until 1998.
Yes.
But then you are only at the national office between November 1998 and May 1999.
Indeed.
Okay, I understand. And then in May 1999, you then go to Mabato.
Indeed, Council.
Okay. And when you were in Mabato, you were working as the deputy director.
Yes, I was working as a deputy director of public prosecutions.
Yes, all right. And then you were there until you went on retirement recently on the 4th of December 2024.
Yes, on the 4th of December, things took a turn, yes, and I decided, I penned a letter informing the NPA that I had now reached the age of 660. I intend going on retirement.
I think you should explain those circumstances to the panel. I think they want to know.
Yes.
What are the circumstances you say took a turn?
Chairperson, in February 2019, Advocate Shamila Batohi was appointed as the National Director of Public Prosecutions. On a day, on a Friday, I was part to the office of the National Director of Public Prosecutions. PCLU is based in the National Director of Prosecutions office. And our office was on the same floor with that of the National Director. So as I walked to the photocopy, I would from time to time bump into the National Director. As I did on the day, in front of the lift, and Advocate Batohi then asked me, "You are appointed for the Northwest. What are you doing here?" And then I then informed her that I am busy with work that was allocated to me by your predecessor. Her predecessor would have been Advocate Sean Abrahams, that I was specifically referring to. And then she thereupon said to me, "No, you must go back to the Northwest." I was a bit taken aback by that stance. I indicated to Advocate Batohi that I came to head office, to the office of the PCLU, as a result of having been requested to do so in writing. So I said, "Well, I have no problem with it, but may you please put it in writing." And then she said to me, "Now you can go to the Northwest. I will tell Johan." Johan then would be the Director of Public Prosecutions, Advocate Johan Smith, SC. This discussion, Chairperson, happens in the passage. And I would have expected a a conversation that affects my work to have happened in a better, decent manner. I would have expected the national director to call me to her office and to say why, in her view, I should go back to the Northwest. It did not happen. And then I went to my office, which is a few steps away from the foyer where we met. Chairperson, I barely sat down. It means I was just about to sit down when Danny Smith, the office manager in the office of the national director, walked in. And when he walks in, he says to me, you know, he was rubbing his hands.
I beg your pardon, is that Advocate Smith?
No. Danny Smith is a corporate manager in the office of the national director. He says, Advocate Mahema, please don't shoot the messenger. But you must vacate the office. And I say, vacate the office? Well, the direction from the national director, Adv Batohi, is that you must go back to the Northwest. I said, but I just indicated to her I needed it in writing. And he continued rubbing his hands and said, don't shoot the messenger, but you must vacate the office. I need to use it on Monday or the ensuing week. And I said, but Danny, I have files that I'm working on. And then Danny then said to me, well, those files can be put in the safe. So what they did was Danny Smith approved that some of the files that could fit into the safe could go into the safe, and those that can't fit in the safe, they gave me a bakkie, a van, that I loaded into the bakkie, and I drove home on that Friday in Joburg. And on Monday morning at 8 o'clock, I was in Advocate Johan Smith's office, to his surprise. And Advocate Johan Smith said...
Who is Advocate Johan Smith now?
Is a DPP in the Northwest.
So you were back in Mabato on
I'm
Monday.
back in Mabato now. And he was surprised. He was equally surprised. I said, well, I related the story to him. He said, no, you're most welcome here. We need additional hands. Your experience, no. Perfect. So that's how then I went back to the Northwest.
Yes. Now, at the time that you were essentially hounded out of the office, the disciplinary steps you are talking about in paragraph 10, had they been commenced, started?
They had not commenced yet.
Okay. Were you aware of any impending disciplinary steps?
I was completely unaware of any impending.
Yes. All right. And then take us through then to how, we now know how you were pushed out of the office by Advocate Batohi, according to you.
Yes.
Without warning, without notice.
Yes.
And what we are still not aware of is what process led to the DC and what was the DC about?
Chairperson, what happened then was I went back to the Northwest and worked as a prosecutor normally. That means checking work of senior state advocates, checking work of advocates, and doing the work myself. Chairperson would remember that I'm one of the deputies who, unlike other deputies in other offices, don't sit in the office. I will do chamber work, but I will bring my own bit of doing court work self. So yes, I was doing the work of a Deputy Director of Prosecutions and work of advocates in the DPP office, which included decision dockets, appeals, and doing circuit courts. Yes. Now, I think it was in May 2019, I got a call from the Director of Prosecutions then, Advocate Makari, who then said to me, well, you will have to return the criminal cases that you're busy with. She wanted an audit of all the cases that I was doing, and she informs me that her instruction is that I should not do any court work anymore. And then...
When was this, the date you gave us?
It was in May 2019. This happened a day after I received a letter from Human Resources that was informing me of the commencement of a disciplinary hearing in 2019. But what surprised me was the angle that it took. I had part heads in the High Court, in the regional court, and I was simply told, you must make an audit of the cases, all the cases that you have, and then return them to the Director of Prosecutions, to Advocate Makari.
Advocate who?
Makari, Rachel Makari.
Oh, okay.
She was at the time the DPP.
She was at the time the DPP. Chairperson, she is in the province called Rachel Nengovela. Yes. So, and then I returned all the files. I remember specifically that the next week I had made arrangements to go on circuit court. I was on circuit court with the Deputy Judge President. Judge Jaje, and at Mukhwase. That week, when I was on circuit court, Chairperson,
That Madam Justice.
Madam Justice Jaji,
Yes, thank you.
I was then informed that I'm going to be served formally with papers commencing the disciplinary hearing.
So to just clarify something, because there might be unintentional confusion.
Yes.
In 2019, the DPP of Northwest was Mr. Smith, SC.
At the time of this incident happening,
Yes.
he had just left.
No, I understand that, but I just want the dates to be correct. In 2019, the DPP of Northwest was Mr. Johan Smith,
yes.
SC, correct?
Yes.
And when did he leave?
I do not have a specific date when.
Yes, but
when
your
he
DC was not in 2019; it was in 2024.
Oh yes. No. What happened was it was commenced in 2019.
Yes.
The papers were served in 2019,
Correct.
and I was then asked to do these things, but the files and everything was retained at the time that Advocate Makari was the DPP.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
And then what happened then was the result of this, Chairperson, led to a prohibition to continue the court work that I was doing, and to continue doing any checking work. So what would happen is that I would literally walk into the office at 8 o'clock in the morning. I will sit in the office and read emails and read the newspaper. because I was prevented from doing any checking work. I was prevented from doing any work with a big salary that I was earning in the NPA.
Yes, but you mentioned that Advocate Rachel Nengobel told you that her instructions were that you should stop doing criminal work.
Indeed, Kansa.
What does that mean, her instructions? Who is instructing her?
The instruction came from the national director that I should not get involved in any. My continued involvement, the letter that I received, my continued involvement in criminal cases places the name of the NPA in disrepute.
Yes. But that's
Chairperson, this is an institution that I worked tirelessly for 31 years. Now, all of a sudden, because of a decision that has been taken in the line and scope of my work, I am now in a position where my continued work will place the NPA's name in disrepute.
Yes. When you say the national director, just call her by name.
Advocate Shamila Batohi is the one who instructed Advocate Makari to remove me from any active work within the NPA. The result, Chairperson, was that...
Did you say that this message was conveyed to you whilst you were at the circuit court?
The reason why I mentioned that week of the circuit court, when I was told that head office wants to find out where I was so that they can come and save me with the documents. I was at circuit court in Mkhwasi. And then this fear was there that, you know, what would then happen with the part head that I'm doing? And then during that week, in the morning in chambers, I indicated to Madam Justice Judge that there is this pending thing that might happen. And if it happens, I don't know whether it will affect my ability to continue prosecution in the matter that I was busy with. But then what happened was we did the circuit court until the Friday. And the letter of suspension did not arrive. So it arrived later. So the result was that in 2019, after I was told, you're not getting involved in any work, I then became redundant. Coming to the office, reading the newspaper, and doing absolutely nothing. This is a man who is used to running around, reading dockets, working under pressure, and all of a sudden, it's a complete dry land. I have nothing that I'm doing in my office. Chairperson, it went to an extent where I would, junior staff in the office would not know what is happening. So they would come to me and say, Advocate Maima, I have a challenge with this. And I would give them advice as to how to deal with it and say, go to the library, look at this and this. And at some instances when I have challenge, because pressure in the DPP office is enormous. So I'll say, no, bring it, I will do it. So I would do work and not be able to sign that I have done that work and give it to that junior advocate or that senior advocate to present it as his own. I would not be able to sign indictments. You know what happens in the DPP office? A file comes to you, you issue queries on the meta docket. When it comes back, the admin section will bring it to you. Then they would bring it to me, not knowing that I am not in a position to decide that docket. And then when they bring it to me, then I will take it back and say, I'm not in a position to handle it. So this redundancy happened from 2019. The disciplinary hearing was pending. It wasn't commencing. Ultimately, when I received the papers, Chairperson, I discovered that it is the decision that I took in the Johan Boysen matter that led to all of this that was happening.
Just tell me, on the point of the DC not commencing, most of us have done labor law before.
Yes.
When there is a DC, a prosecutor is appointed, a pro forma prosecutor is appointed,
Indeed, Chairperson.
who must sign the charges
Yes.
and then bring witnesses and prosecute.
Yes.
Was a prosecutor appointed in your case? Or an initiator? Yes, I'm corrected.
Yes, an initiator was appointed.
Who was the initiator?
He is sitting here. It's Advocate Harley, I see.
I see. Was a chairperson appointed?
A chairperson wasn't appointed yet. The charges remain pending, and we complained. We took the NPA to the CCMA, and there was the postponement. There was a judgment ultimately, but the effect thereof was that I remained redundant in the office doing nothing.
So an initiator is appointed, but no chairperson.
Yes, yes.
All right.
And then on the 4th of December 2024, I decided, no, I cannot be treated in this manner by an institution that I've given my entire life, 31 years of my life. On the 4th of December, I then penned my letter informing the employer that I'm intending taking retirement as I've reached the age of 60. I was not the only one. Advocate Musing, who was also in the same position, did the same thing. In fact, he did it a bit earlier than me.
Yes, well, we will see Advocate Musing's name does feature.
Yes.
But maybe to complete that part, now that you've introduced him, when you say he was in the same position, what do you mean?
Counsel, if I may interpose, and I apologize. You said after you went to circuit court, the letter of suspension was served on you a week later.
Yes, yes.
What did the suspension entail? Were you supposed to sit at home, or were you supposed to come, report at work and do nothing? Maybe clarify us on that.
The latter, Chairperson. Come to the office, sit in the office and do absolutely nothing.
Let me understand. You are suspended,
Yes.
but you
With
come
full-
to the office and do nothing.
I'm sorry, Chairperson, suspended with full pay.
Yes.
You come to the office, and there's a concerted effort to ensure that I arrive on time. Arrive at 8 o'clock. Because when I arrive, the securities will say, Mr. Maima, please, because sometimes you walk in and you're rushing, you don't sign the register. Say, no, please, you must sign. I say, what do you mean I must sign? I have something that I'm rushing for. No, please, it's important, you must sign. We have been asked to direct you to sign. Then I would sign the register relating to the time at which you come to the office.
Thank you.
But then do absolutely nothing. Chairperson, there is nothing that frustrated me during that time, like coming to the office and wanting to do work and not being able to do work. The work that I've done for that period of years was very frustrating to me. But I couldn't do anything about it.
Look, Mr. Maima, what might
Through
help?
you, Chair.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Advocate Maema, you say you were suspended, but expected to report at work at normal working hours.
Yes, Chairperson.
And is that spelled out in your notice of suspension?
It was not in so many words, but I was told I'm suspended with full pay. What was communicated to me by Advocate Makari at the time was, you are not allowed to touch any work in the office. So it wasn't specifically mentioned in the letter of suspension. The letter of suspension indicated that here are the charges that you're going to be facing, and you are suspended with full pay. A disciplinary hearing will commence. These are the charges.
And you have that letter of suspension?
Yes, I do.
Right, thank you.
Yes, Madam Ramachakha is on this point, because I was going to say what might be helpful is for you to bring us that letter at some point, and we'll share it with the panel.
Indeed.
And the instruction for you to come to the office on time was conveyed verbally. Is that your evidence?
My evidence is that the securities in the office indicated that I am compelled to indicate the time of arrival and to indicate the time of leaving the office.
Yes.
But when I had when I was told by Advocate Makari about the suspension, she did not in any way mention signing the attendance register.
All right. You mentioned also that the initiator was Advocate Hali SC. How did you know that?
We had various meetings with Advocate Hali.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Meetings to do what?
We were told to appear on a specific date. And we came to the CCMA office in Sandton here. And Advocate Hali then had a meeting with the counsel who was representing us, Advocate Matibedi, SC. Yes, and there were some discussions, and I think there was a chairperson appointed, because then the hearing was postponed to a further date. Advocate Hali would remember. Those are the sad parts that I don't really want. My brain does not have capacity to keep that negativity. You think about it and you push it away because you don't want it to drag you down.
Yes, all right. So you think your memory could be failing you that the chairperson could have been appointed or was definitely appointed?
I think the chairperson was appointed because we went to the date, we went to the hearing, all of us, Advocate Musing, Advocate Matenjwa, Advocate Marshal Mokhatla. Yeah. And the matter was postponed to a further date. This matter was postponed and postponed and postponed. That's why I said because of the frustration, we then went to the CCMA. We didn't get a favorable judgment, but the effect thereof was wearing you down. I decided on the 4th of December, I have had enough. So I said, no, I am going on retirement.
Now you said you discovered at a certain stage that all of this was caused by the role you played in the prosecution of the Cato Mano accused.
The charges were spelling it out clearly that it is because of the charges in the Cato Mano
Yes.
that I was that I suffered the fate that I was facing. When I look at the terms of reference, the terms of reference are almost the same as what I faced.
Which terms of reference now?
The terms of reference of this commission.
Of Advocate Chauke.
Advocate Chauke's terms of reference. It refers to paragraph 3.1.1. 3.1.1 talks about the institution of the racketeering charges against Major General Boysen. But 3.1.1 says Advocate Chauke supported a decision to prosecute the accused, notwithstanding that there was no evidence justifying the decision. 3.1.2, Advocate Chauke recommended to Advocate Jiba, the acting NDPP, the application for issuing racketeering authorization, whereas there was no evidence justifying the institution of prosecution. So it is a pattern of just accusing us of instituting prosecutions where there is no evidence. It's the same pattern what happened to me is same as what is contained in the terms of reference relating to Advocate Chauke.
Yes, all right.
Madam Chair,
we will come to.
Sorry to interject. May I ask, Madam Chair, it's hot that we take off our jackets. It is raining and on our backs. We are
Well,
sweating.
the air conditioner was switched on and then it seems to have been switched off. I apologize. I know you asked me to make the request. I totally forgot.
Yes, Advocate Maema, we are all battling with the heat and the coldness. You'd understand why some of us are in this state. Are you feeling cold where you are? If you were to switch on the aircon,
It would not affect me at all. I will welcome it, Chairperson. The seat is fairly hot.
yes, I will request our assistants to help us. The lady Colin, if you can assist with the remote and make sure that that air conditioning is well functioning over there.
Unfortunately,
But
Madam
that does
Chair.
not detract from the fact that I'm talking to you now.
Apologies.
That does not detract from the fact that you can take off your jacket if you wish.
The reason I was saying is because that one only assisted Chauke team.
You can take off your jacket.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, I'm in your hands when I should proceed.
Advocate Maema, when you feel cold, you can just regulate the air conditioning with that gadget.
Thank
Or
you,
you can
Chairperson.
even take off your jacket if you are inclined to do so. I know you're smiling. I know you will not do it.
I will not.
Knowing you from past experience, I know you won't take off your jacket.
Our court etiquette has taught me to do things in a particular way. That's why I am not
I
comfortable
know you, Mr. Maima.
to take oath sitting down, really.
Thank you. You may proceed, Advocate Batohi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. All right, so we are now at the point where you've, according to you, have had enough of the unending disciplinary inquiry, and you also know the substance of it is that you are being charged because of your role in the racketeering and the predicate charges on Cato Melo. But you've had enough, you want to go. And you wrote a letter which is called the Termination of Service Letter dated 4 December 2024. We also don't have that copy. Perhaps when you bring the suspension letter, you can also bring that one.
Termination of service letter.
Yes.
Because what happens, Chairperson, is you type it on your own computer, and then you print it, you sign, you give it to HR. But I should have the version on my laptop.
Now, was there a separate charge sheet which explained what the allegations were?
Yes, there was.
All right, so perhaps if you could also provide us with that one. So far, just out of paragraph 10 alone, we have 3 documents we've asked you for. It's your suspension letter and your notice of disciplinary charges and your resignation letter. Okay. And you say that your last date of employment was 31 January 2025.
Indeed, Chairperson.
Yes. Now, what are you doing right now? Well, you've had a year and a month since you left.
Yeah, what happened then is I then applied to do pupillage. I was admitted to do pupillage in Polokwane at the Limpopo Society of State Advocates. That is where I met Advocate Mutlamunyani, who was then offering me legal writing. Yes, so I started there on the 1st of Feb until the end of August when you wrote exams. And I think the results came in August, September. I think the beginning of October the results came. But it was a long wait.
Yes.
You know, waiting for the results of that exam is also not a nice thing.
Yes. And are you practicing now as an advocate?
Chairperson, I am commencing to open my office as an advocate. At the moment, seeking chambers from which to practice, but the sweet and short answer is yes, I am practicing as a.
Where
as
in
an
Limpopo or in the northwest?
Chairperson, because my house is in Gauteng, I'm looking for chambers in Gauteng.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Now, okay, we've covered now paragraph 10 because there's quite a lot of information that's condensed in one paragraph.
Yes.
And then when we look at paragraph 11, we also cover your experience that you've had as the DPP on an acting basis. Can you just take us through that?
Indeed, Chairperson, I acted as a Director of Prosecutions on several occasions. This includes the times when Advocate Smith, SC, was sick. Advocate Smith is elderly. He's been very sickly since 2000. In fact, the saying I acted for 7 months is an understatement. I think 7 months was a continuous period when he was admitted in hospital. But because of his age and because of his frailty, I was acting in his states, fairly regular. And then in 2010.
Before that, after completing your pupillage, did you sign the Red Book at the Limpopo Bar or any other bar?
I signed at the Limpopo Bar.
So you're currently the Limpopo Bar member?
Yes.
Thank you.
And I also informed them as practice requires that I will be testifying as a witness. I do from time to time when I'm called by the DPP office to testify in respect of cases that I do in organized crime. So when I was asked to consider coming here, I did inform them.
Yes, thank you. Proceed, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Okay, so we were still covering paragraph 11, which is really your experience as DPP, although your substantive post was deputy.
Yes.
But you also had experience as DPP.
Yes, I acted when my own DPP, Johan Smith, was not well. And when the then DPP of South Gauteng was Advocate Karen de Beer SC, she is mentioned in paragraph, the end of paragraph 11.
Yes.
She was also sick towards the end of her career. And Advocate Mche, who was then the acting NDPP, asked me to go and act in Joburg, which acting period was 1 December 2009 to 31 May 2010.
Yes. You also had experience as the acting head of the PCLU, that's the TRC cases unit.
Yes. I would do that when Advocate Pretorius was out of the country, or when he was ill, or when he was unavailable for any other reason. Then I would be given an acting appointment.
Yes. So, I mean, it does appear that you have significant experience at high level inside the NPA. It's not just the time, but it's also the type of experience you've gained.
And the kind of responsibility that the NPA is prepared to bestow upon you. It went to an extent where I said, no, I will not accept any other acting appointment. You appointed me as a deputy, I'm fine as a deputy. I will execute my duties and responsibility as a deputy.
Yes. All right. Now, Your functions as the deputy director are set out at paragraph 13. Can you briefly deal with those?
Chairperson, as Deputy Director of Prosecutions in the office, I was entrusted with special prosecutions, I was entrusted with governance, and I was entrusted with the organized crime. But predominantly my portfolio was organized crime. And organized crime then leads you to dealing with racketeering cases, serious violent cases. Yes.
Well, I mean, South Africa's primary legislation on organized crime is the Prevention of Organized Crime Act, and racketeering is a feature of that act. So
Indeed,
if you are a
Chairperson.
specialist in organized crime, that would be your area of specialization.
Indeed, indeed.
Yes. But also, not only were you in charge of organized crime, I mean, you had specific knowledge and expertise in racketeering.
Chairperson, I did. I have dealt with a number of cases,
Yes.
both as a prosecutor in court and as well as the cases that I would push through or prepare and send to the national director for racketeering authorizations to be issued.
Yes. And that is what is in the last sentence of paragraph 13, is your experience specifically in racketeering.
Indeed, Councillor, I indicate that I've prosecuted 5 racketeering prosecutions in person,
Yes.
whilst I was in charge of about 7 racketeering prosecutions, where I would then supervise and guide and take the process through to the issuing of racketeering authorizations. The process of issuing of racketeering authorizations is the prosecutor must then prepare a prosecution memo where you summarize the case, where you summarize what is involved in the matter, where you pinpoint the enterprise, the pattern of racketeering authority, pattern of racketeering activity, and then in a memo, depending on whether you do the prosecution in the regional court, in which case then you prepare a charge sheet. If it's in the high court, then you'll prepare an indictment together with the requisite racketeering authorizations for consideration by the Office of the National Director.
Yes. No, I understand.
Let me just verify something you said earlier with regard to the disciplinary hearing. And when you appeared before the CCMA, you mentioned the names of Advocate Musing, Mokhatla, and Matenjo. Were they also subjected to disciplinary proceedings and charged?
Yes, Chairperson, we were charged in the same matter. In fact, what happened, disciplinary hearing in terms of the labor legislation, for some of us who've read labor law, is supposed to happen in the office where you're working. But the NPA was then, despite my being based in the Northwest, they said, well, because it is involving Advocate Musing, who is based in the DPP Pretoria, Advocate Mokhatla, who's based in the DPP Pretoria, but head of a serious office of the OCO, what is it? Serious economic cases. Advocate Matenjo.
We can refer to it as OSEO. I
Yes.
think we know. all
OSEO,
of us,
yes. And Advocate Matenjo, who's a deputy in the office of the DPP in South Gauteng. So, well, including myself, we were all officials of the NPA who were pursued disciplinary by Advocate Hali SC.
No, Advocate Hali was just an initiator. You were being pursued, if by any person, by Advocate Batohi.
Indeed, indeed.
Yes. I think the point I was trying to get to in paragraph 13 is to expatiate your knowledge and expertise in racketeering, which we've dealt with now, I think, unless you want to add anything on your experience and knowledge of racketeering.
Now I have, except to say, Chairperson, when because of my experience in racketeering cases, and because of having dealt with the cases myself, this now leads me to paragraph 15, where I say, I think in my view.
Let's start with 14.
Should we
There's a
start with
case
14? In section 2 of poker, or in the definition section of poker, and an individual can be an enterprise. A group of individuals associated, in fact, can be an enterprise. Even a formal structure with hierarchy can be an enterprise. So all you do is look at the legislation, look at the facts that you have. Do they accord with the definition of an enterprise? And do you have sufficient evidence to prove an enterprise and all the elements, pattern of racketeering activity, there being more than one offense listed in Schedule 1? If all the requirements outlined in the legislations are there, then, you commence a racketeering prosecution.
Yes. Thank you. And then in paragraph 15, that's where you wanted to go to, that you think the reason you were recommended to be involved as a leader of the prosecution team on Ketuman was because of your experience in racketeering.
At the time, yes. At the time when it happened, I thought, oh, well, it could be because of this. Because every time when you go to a conference, they'll say, Mahema got this conviction of an individual as an enterprise. Yes. So I thought it is because of that involvement in the Ngongoma Ndleleni matter that the acting NDPP advocate Jiba, when it was brought to her attention that there is something in KZN that might mirror what is in racketeering offenses, then she thought of Mahema, who has done racketeering cases, and also thought about Matenjwa. At the time, in 2010, Advocate Matenjwa had dealt with the Jub matter. It wasn't a racketeering matter per se, but it was a matter that caused a lot of, what do you call it? A lot of unhappiness in Soweto. It happened at the time when I was acting in Johannesburg. So I actually allocated the Jub matter to Advocate Matenjwa and Advocate Kanyile, but Advocate Matenjwa dealt with that prosecution and dealt with it successfully. So when incidents in KZN were happening, which would mirror something that may be in that line, I thought that was the reason for the recommendation that I be part of the team. But then, having spoken to General Mabula, who was the lead investigator of the DPCI, the Director of Priority Crimes Litigation Unit, then I gathered that when he approached Advocate Jiba for a prosecutor-guided investigation in respect of this incident, Advocate Jiba asked him, is there a prosecutor that you know that would recommend? General Mabula is in the Northwest, I'm in the Northwest. I was his obvious choice. He said, I work with Mahema in organized crime. Yes. And because of Advocate Matenjwa's involvement in Jub, in my view, then we were the two that were designated to assist the DPCI team as well as the IPAD team in KZN with what appeared to be offenses in KZN.
Yes, thank you.
And correct me if I'm wrong, was the further reason also not the fact that there had also been a case involving someone in Rustenburg who then had to be prosecuted in KZN with all others? The Rustenburg case.
Now, the Rustenburg case was in my view, not a consideration. I thought it was in my experience in racketeering matters. And Chairperson, there was a prosecution that I dealt with at the so-called Skirlek prosecution. The Skirlek prosecution was a racist attack in Swartregens. So it was one of the prosecutions that was in the media a lot. So I dealt with that matter. And,
you're not going to my turf.
Oh, yes. I have missed the question. My apologies.
No, the Skirlek matter is in my turf.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yes, but I do understand those reasons why you were then recommended to go to KZN and lead the team. I thought that perhaps the Rustenburg matter was also a consideration. But I do understand your answer.
Yes.
Looking for the actual case. Yes, I was just checking, Madam Chair, that centralization case. I'm just looking at my notes now. But I suppose that came after you were approached. That's your
Yes.
point.
Remember the...
Yes, I think it will come later.
We will deal with it,
Maybe we should
yes.
not divert at this stage. Advocate
Thank you very
Mayema,
much.
I think just to save time, let Council take you there at a later stage.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. So, paragraph 16, you already showed us your familiarity with the terms of reference, so I won't get into that because you mentioned that voluntarily when I was asking you about something else.
Oh, yes, about the...
I was asking you about your own DC, and then you said it's actually mirrored in this DC, and then you read out the terms of reference.
Indeed,
Yes,
indeed.
So we can skip paragraph 16 there. And then in paragraph...
Is it, I'm now reminded of the tea time. Time
Yes.
flies.
Yes.
We have gone past the tea time. I'm reminded it is now tea break time. So, Advocate Kaitobi, do you want to pause now or do you want to pursue with that question?
No, Madam
Or
Chair.
you'll park it here until we reconvene?
Yes, I'd rather park it here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Advocate Mayema, we've agreed with Council that we'll take our lunch, beg your pardon, the tea time at 15:15, and then we will adjourn for 30 minutes. We will reconvene at 10:02.
10 to 12.
10 to, yes, at 10 to 12 for you to proceed. Remember, you are still under oath as we adjourn. Thank you, Council. We'll adjourn for tea for 30 minutes.